When you hear someone singing, what do you think? Does it sound like music to you? Now how about when you hear someone beatboxing? Does that sound like music to you? Today I'd like to address a misconception that I think most people don't think that they have. That beatboxing is not just a cool trick or a talent at parties, but it's something that you can make a living off of. I'd like to argue that beatboxing is an ever-growing, ever-evolving, and pressing form of music that people do on a day-to-day basis, and they do not only on the streets, but also in a paid venue. From the 1980s to now, beatboxing has been growing, and it's been growing along with music. And as music has been used to provide an escape and entertainment and connection to the world, so has beatboxing. So today, I want to prove to you that beatboxing is a viable form of music. I'm going to do that by talking about the history of beatboxing, and I'm going to compare it to today's modern music, and lastly, I'm going to say how it bridges the gap between music and beatboxing. Oh, and of course, my credibility. There you go. So, thank you. So, the history of beatboxing. History of beatboxing started in Harlem with hip-hop. So as the hip-hop movement grew and it became into rap and all these things started, beatboxing was right along with it. And so, whereas today's modern music uses a lot of different layering, rap and hip-hop uses very simple beats and very simple rhymes to go with it. So early beatboxing started off as an imitation of drum kits. So where it started off as it has grown into what music now uses, which is a lot of electronic noises, a lot of DJing, and a lot of different noises. So beatboxing has gone from to lots of difference from 30 years ago. So not only that, beatboxing is not limited to just using your mouth for creating rhythms and creating grooves. According to an article on InsideScience.com on January of 2017, one of these different forms used in a different culture is kuji. Kuji is a Chinese art form using the mouth to imitate noises in everyday life, so such as wind and cars, and they use this to put over plays. So it's not, beatboxing is not just using rhythm, it's using any sound really, and I'll get back to that in a little bit. So, now that we know a little bit about the history, how is it music? It's been used to create music, but how is it actually music? So, in a comparison, let's talk about the similarities first. So first, the Merriam-Webster definition of music is the science or art of ordering tones or sounds in succession and combination or in temporal relationship to produce a composition having unity and continuity. To me, that sounds like beatboxing. Beatboxing is the exact same thing, using different sounds, different noises to create one entire track. But one of the pitfalls that comes with beatboxing is it is not layered, and traditional music uses a lot of layering. So one of the huge differences between beatboxing and music is music uses mostly musical sounds, whereas beatboxing uses a lot of non-musical sounds. According to Martina Bragg, in an article posted in January 2017 to humanbeatbox.com, any sound to a beatboxer can be used to create music, whether musical or non-musical. And one of the things that she points out is music is more of a process, not just one activity. Whereas musicking, M-U-S-I-C-K, musicking is an activity, and that's what beatbox is. So, where beatboxing falls short of what modern music calls music today is that ability to create multiple different layers. And even then, as I showed you guys, there's a lot of different things that you can put into beatboxing to create one whole track. So, I'd like to move on to bridging that gap between music and beatboxing, and proving you guys that beatboxing is actually a form of music. So one of those things is a cappella. Now everybody knows pentatonics, everybody knows the movie Pitch Perfect. A cappella is a huge movement, and it's a very unique movement. So one of the things that makes beatboxing, or makes a cappella really, really cool, is the use of a beatboxer. So do you guys know who like barbershop quartets are? Just guys that sing. They use a little bit of movement, but it's just them singing. So what really makes a cappella interesting, and what makes the movie Pitch Perfect really interesting, is the use of that beatboxing. It's that kick, it's that rhythm that comes in to create a whole form, a whole flow in music. So another bridge builder is Beardy Man. Now Beardy Man is kind of a weird name, but he has been a beatboxer since the early 2000s. And one of the things that he's been doing to really create this whole new world is he has this really big piece of equipment that he brings up to the stage with him, and he uses it to loop his voice. So he'll lay down a beat, press a button, and it'll loop that one beat for him. So then he'll put another beat on top of that, loop that, put another beat on top of that. He can sing a little, so he'll sing a little, and he'll put all these different instruments together to make one entire track. And one of the really, really cool things is during his shows, he'll actually do this for people and create tracks and then sell those tracks. So Beardy Man has been creating a whole entire music industry just on his own. And he's been using it to create albums, to create tracks, but then also to create other people along with him to follow him. So altogether, beatboxing in the past 30 years has grown, and has grown exponentially, and become something so much different than what it started off in Harlem as. One of the things it does is